Hello, this is Community Unity Now, the D Tycoon Show. My co-host Bill Morton, president of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce, is still recovering from his injury. I am Trudy Leong, administrator of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce. Our very special guest today is Larry Gardner, aka Latale. How are you, Larry?
I'm good, Miss Trudy. How are you? Hey guys, all you guys in TV land, how you going?
Well, Larry has been working with us for quite a long time, about 7 years. And when we met you, you were at Chucky's, and then you were already doing your emceeing and rapping. So how did all of this start?
Well, so I've always been kind of a entertainer, excuse me. But you know, it's kind of a evolutionary standpoint for me, from being entertainer, then growing into actual, learning about business. At a young age, I got into business, so I just kind of fell suit to my calling. I love entertaining. I love making people happy. I love making people smile. I love creating a vibe. I love creating, a good, stable platform for entertainment.
Let's go back to your college years a little bit. It seems as if you were in a fraternity, and then you're close to your fraternity brothers. Did this start with college? Is that how you got the entertainment bug?
Well, the business the business side of my entertainment, endeavors started in college. Went to Central State. Shout out to Central State, my alma mater, Central State University, Wilberforce, Ohio. So, I went there, for business. 5.5 years, graduated, got my degree. But alongside, tandem of me learning business, I grew with the knowledge of actual entertainment and art on the hip hop side. I actually dove into the history of hip hop. It's crusaders. People like Def Jam, Russell Simmons, all the way back to when it first started in Queens, New York, and the East Coast, excuse me, and how it evolved in different genres and different fields. I've studied that kind of to the T, and wanted to give my own little spin on it from the lyrical side, along with my experiences as a Chicagoan.
So you started in Chicago, then you went to Ohio for college.
Yes.
And when why Larry the Lyrical?
So that's a good breakdown. It's a little history behind it. I didn't have the name, before I started college. It was just kind of dibbling and dabbling with learning and crafting my art. But when I got to Central State my freshman year, me being in business, I actually got to sit with a few inquiring minds as well, when it comes to trying to establish a goal for life. So a lot of us were in the same boat of entertainment, hip hop. So we both just kind of sat down, and from there the name originated, just something that's unique, something that's not so consistent. Like, I wanted to stand out, especially when it came to what I was doing for my craft. So Latale is just a breakdown, Larry the Lyrical, kind of a synonym. So it's literally just parts of Larry the Lyrical. Which is Larry, and that derives from a name that my mother used to give me, kind of like a, a pet name that my mom had for me. T is actually for and then the lay for Lyrical, kind of like a ode to or shout out to my fraternity, because the way I set it out was to be kind of a breakdown of every part of my life within my name. So, just think about it like this: Larry the Lyrical, a lot to lay down. Larry, a lot to lay. That's basically what you think about.
So when you were in college, you helped me, and then with the Slam Open Mic Club.
Yes.
So when you were at the Central State, were you in student clubs? Were there open mics at Central State that you participated in? When was the first time you ever rapped?
So, first time I ever rap was with Afton Booking. So it was an independent booking company back then for Chicago who helped get independent artists out. So I started with that, and then being in my fraternity and the network I had with certain entities for my college at Central State, we were able to formulate different events, open mics and stuff like that to, just kind of boost the community of the college campus. So I just kind of took a few pages out that book and wanted to bring it back to the city.
Because so you were already rapping before you went to college.
Yes, I started writing and formulating my style back in 2005. Yeah. So 2005, started writing. I evolved from there to the actual understanding of production and network and pushing my art. And then after 2009, when I went away to school, that's when I started actually implementing and executing, finding the different outlets, the different resources, the different networks, knowing who to talk to, just being able to level up on each scale.
So when you went to study business, was that your intention to mix the business with your art, or you just were an artist and then you also wanted to study business just in case you needed it?
I was always a nerd. So, I was a cool nerd though, don't get me wrong. I had always been business minded since the age of 13, when I first started working. So from there, I just wanted to understand the dynamics of what it took to actually run a successful business and how to build and how to network and how to stay consistent, and how to stay relevant. So my time at Central State helped me to formulate that and build on that. And then, but before that happened, my natural proclivity was more towards business. Then I kind of, evolved into entertainment, due to my many different experiences singing in the church choir.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You sang in the church choir?
Yeah.
Oh.
Back in the day. So singing
in
the
Chicago,
church,
right?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Original Providence Baptist Church, one of the oldest churches on the west side of Chicago. So that's where I originate from. But from just learning from there, and then after I kind of ran my time with the church choir, I ended up getting into the AV work of entertainment and everything with my grandfather, who was the sound technician for Original Providence.
Oh, so you're okay. So you were lucky. You had a mentor, and then you had your grandpa.
Yes.
Grandfather. Okay.
So it's kind of like I kind of fell into my calling.
Nice. And then when you were, did you have any mentors in singing?
When it came, not really singing, just okay. I'm not really that much of a singer. I can harmonize a few notes, maybe, but nothing too strong.
But then you learned the rhythm too, singing, yeah.
Yeah, so I had always been a poet, so I understood, the systematic structure of how to formulate a paragraph within the poetic space, the rhythm, the rhyming, and all of that. So I learned how to make that a little bit more concrete. Then I got into the art of hip hop and staying in pocket learning how to keep that groove, that steady vibe, to make it vivacious and keep people in a good headspace and let people understand what I'm actually saying.
Was it hard in the beginning to keep the rhythm? You must have listened to a lot of hip hop, right?
Yeah, to find yourself, to find your niche in anything that you're doing, especially if you're trying to like kind of make your name, you're always going to have to kind of figure out how to concrete yourself in a certain style. So me, you know, so accumulation of me learning and me still taking bits and pieces from what I've already experienced in whatever I liked or whatever I experienced, kind of just tied everything in and just made the adjustment.
So you, in other words, you finally found your voice. And about when did you find your voice? In college or earlier?
Yeah, I'll say about 2010.
Why 2010? What happened then?
So 2010 is when, I was about, what, 20 something. It was 20 something. But regardless of that, it was a time of me learning of life. It was my oyster. Life was my oyster. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to actually understand certain aspects in life due to those experiences that I was able to have. So being in the right room with certain people when it comes to understanding how business dynamic works, and then being in other rooms with other people that that know how to express themselves verbally and artistically. So I've had those experiences, and being able to kind of use other people as a muse for me to build that ladder or to build that foundation is what I used. So just different experiences.
Business is oftentimes built on networking, and it seems as if you're very intentional and a very good networker. So how, when you network with people and you're helping artists, how do you find the artists that would work with you? How different are everybody has their own voice. So how far apart are the differences in the voices of you and the artists that you help?
So it's a entertainment is subjective, so it's always going to be a competitive realm. But that just means for me as an artist, it just means that you level up. Like if you see that your art is, if you have a way of expressing yourself, just make it very digestible, but make it your own. Make it digestible in the way that you want the people to understand how you're trying to come across with your craft. So me being able to, my so-called term, headhunt, back in the day when I was hitting up every open mic, every artist. That's the reason. So I kind of genuinely tend to sway towards a lot of artists who see it as an actual goal, as actual business. So, getting up and actually finding those platforms, those spaces to where it'll allow you to perform and actually get your art across to the even not I'm not gonna say the masses, but at least to a certain demographic, or even just doing it just so you can see where you're at, putting yourself in that headspace that I have to push. I have to understand that this is a business. I have to understand that if I want to see this through, I can't really see it as a lot of people do it as a hobby. I get that. But if you find those genuine artists, that's the ones I kind of gear towards to, those ones who actually see it as a actual means to an actual end. And they're goal oriented. They have a nice little blueprint. You can build off that. And usually when you build off that, it creates other opportunities that you may never even knew would be possible.
So when you move through a lot of the different open mics, you probably met a lot of the different artists that also move around to the different open mics as well.
Yes.
So when you started emceeing, did you and you have a whole bunch of artists that you like to support, even though there's competition. You're always very supportive. When Bill Morton and I attend your open mics, such as at Safari, Chucky's, and everywhere else, you're always so supportive of artists. Did you end up networking with those artists that also went from to all the open mics?
Yes.
Do you work with those the most?
Yes, a few different artists that I work with, I kind of keep with me or keep close ties are. Shout out to Darius Saad. Shout out to Jerry East, who's now renaming himself. A lot of different people. Big Bills, his PMG group. It's just a lot of different people. First name Prince. It's a lot of different independent artists that have the vigor. But this game will weigh. The entertainment game is very fickle, so it will weigh down on you. But as long as you have a direction or a directive, a motive, a goal, and you know how to build towards it, nothing can really stop you. Nothing can really, deter you from it. Just as long as you have a game plan. Just have a game plan. Know the network. Know the people to come across to. Know the people to speak to. Know the people to get in touch with. I get it that sometimes it's not always what you know, it's who you know. But I've always, as a businessman, I've always hung on the aspect of it is what you know. Because what you know and getting yourself in front of the right people will elevate you even further. So
when you're performing, you have to enjoy yourself. But then you, of course, there's that you have to learn the technique. So at what point are you able to how much of the technique do you have to get down before you could start actually enjoying and then finding your groove?
Well, that's subjective. That's based on the artist because a lot of people, so it's entertainment. Entertainment is a form of public speaking. A lot of people are very timid when it comes to public speaking. A lot of people are really timid on how they're trying to get a point across, and if they feel like that they're not really keen on a point, but they still just want to give their opinion, but they don't want to give their opinion so much that it's going to create certain havoc. I get that. But that's the reason why you take the time as an artist, in the entertainment game, you take the time out to find your voice. You take the time out to, know the points you want to get across to the people so you can speak a little, more intelligently or a little bit more insightful when you're speaking or bringing up certain aspects or trying to get in certain rooms.
So when you've seen your artists and your friends grow, so when they perform, and they get better and better and they grow, they develop, and some of them want to change their name because now they're developing a new voice.
Mm-hmm.
How do you when you see them grow, do they become more confident and then they grow, or do you see that they already have talent and they're very good and then they just change, or does it have to be like they have to become more comfortable with the audience in order to grow?
So I'll say, to answer all three of those questions, the artist within themselves has to be comfortable with who they are and how the journey that they're trying to map out, that they're either, if they're done with the journey and they're trying to just get it out to the people, figure out how you want to get that message across. Or if you have, if you're an artist who's kind of, again, you're intimidated with people or masses of groups of people, learn how to be able to speak with a little bit more confidence. So it's literally knowing yourself and then niching in the different parts when it comes to entertainment, and knowing your target market, knowing your platform, knowing how you want to come across to your fan base, how you're visually pushing through as an artist to make your points a little bit more concrete. So it's the delivery.
And when they don't feel that, when they feel that they have accomplished it, but isn't there always room to grow? Once they
Yes.
feel like they have accomplished, they don't have anything else to do. That kind of sounds like burnout. There's always room to grow.
There's always going to be room to grow, but you always want to stem it from something that you know is concrete and solid. That way you have a basis. You have a basis to grow from. You have something to kind of back to the drawing board, so to speak, to, you know. So, so yeah, just having that blueprint. Your blueprint is always going to be the drawing board to which you're going to stem your movements from. You just got to know what type of drawing board you're stemming. You're kind of taking your points and moving from and elevating from.
So when you see an artist perform, do you sometimes see like a diamond in the raw?
Yes, I do. There's a lot. Again, our entertainment is subjective, so you'll have a lot of different artists out there who are either trying to, you know, invade the space just off of doing something quick and being entertaining. Hopefully just to say that they did it, and you know, and then you have the other side of the coin where you have the people who are trying to actually make this a lifestyle, a living, you know. So once you stem from that, and I've seen a lot of these people, and a lot of these people I kind of gravitate to help either push them in the direction that they're trying to go, or at least give them a few aspects of the platform to start taking heed to. And then they can make their decisions from that.
In other words, they have to be they have to learn a little bit in order to understand your advice.
Yes, they have to put themselves through the fire. And there's just certain things you can't tell people. They have to experience it on themselves. So and then you just gotta work on it from there.
They have to have a lot of dedication too. Like maybe some of them have their full-time jobs or even part-time jobs. In order to move to all those venues, that takes a lot of dedication and time commitment.
Yes, and but that comes with that comes with anything. It comes with anything that you're trying to either accomplish. There's going to be times where you've got to put forth the effort to move a little quicker, or to find a way to make something happen even if you don't have the right resources.
What is the youngest artist that you've ever seen at your open mics, at your emceeing?
The youngest I've seen is 21.
Okay.
But the youngest I've worked with is about 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, Larry Gardner, if our viewers want to learn more about what you're doing and maybe want to ask you for some advice, where should they go?
So if you follow me on all of my social media handles, at Instagram, that's at LA_T_LY17. You can find out what we're doing there with the different the entertainment venues and different content that is about to hit very soon. You can also go on Facebook at Larry Gardner, or you can go to Facebook at LATLY, aka Larry the Lyrical. Also, Rumble and YouTube.
Okay, and if you were to encourage a young artist right now, what would you say to them?
Don't give up. Keep pressing forward. Hey, rain, hail, sleet, snow. Make it go.
It's like delivering the mail, and they're delivering the message.
Yes.
Their message, their voice.
Their voice, your message, your entertainment, your peace, your vibes.
Well, thank you so much, Larry Gardner Latole, for joining us on Community Unity Now, the D Tycoon Show. From Bill Morton, President of the Rogers Parker Chamber of Commerce, and me, Trudy Leong, Administrator of the Rogers Parker Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week.